On this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And we welcome you to Ball Game here on the PFC Entertainment Network. We are live on YouTube and the Facebook and Riverside.fm along with Vinny. I am Jason. We appreciate you tuning in here where we break down everything in and around the wonderful game of America's pastime, Vinny. And as we come into a holiday weekend here, baseball has been one of those institutions that has become synonymous with truly honoring what this weekend is all about. Before we get to all that, though, on this particularly rainy and gloomy holiday weekend where I'm at here in Michigan, and by the sounds of it, my friend, it doesn't sound like it's too much better over in your neck of the woods, but be that as it may, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jay. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Raining like hell here. Looking over 2 inches of rain. So, yeah, it puts a little damper on Memorial Day. So, other than that, we do have baseball. We do have baseball, obviously, to talk about, to watch. This is one of the bigger weekends, of course, Memorial Day to just tune on and just watch any game you basically want and everything and just roll with it and have a grand old time.
Right. No, 100%. This we talk about, the traditions and, all this other stuff. And, you know, this weekend in particular has that unofficial title of the start of summer, you know what I mean? And this is when baseball really has its moment to become the sport in America. Even though the NBA and the NHL are both doing their playoffs right now, I mean, but we are getting into the thick of the MLB season, and it's pretty wonderful, man. It's a wonderful time of year. Although, if you're fans of our particular favored, baseball teams, it hasn't always been. It's not roses right now, Vinny. In fact, some of it just smells like absolute dog shit, if I can be honest with you. But before we start talking about baseball here, and I know that's why uh, people are tuning in. That's the premise of the whole show. But we are sports fans,
Right.
and this show is a spin-off of the Sports Reel podcast, which you can hear every Tuesday night live right here on the PFC Entertainment Network. But as sports fans, Vinny, like we recognize when there are athletes who are just above and beyond, whether it's their skills in the particular sport for which they're known or the charisma that elevates their stardom above their sport. They become almost bigger than. We focus a lot here on our respective shows on football, on baseball, basketball, hockey, but and we don't really spend a tremendous amount of time looking at the sport of NASCAR. However, NASCAR was put in the spotlight this past week, and not for reasons that we're happy about, with the unfortunate, passing of one of its biggest and best known names and stars in Kyle Busch. You didn't have to be a fan to know who this man was, and that is the epitome of what I just talked about. Just a damn shame, man. Way too young, and you actually filled me in on a little bit more information now that the news has come out. More news has come out with the circumstances around this tragedy. But man, just way too young. But he more than made a name for himself in the world of NASCAR. Vinny, what was your takeaway here?
Yeah, Kyle Busch. I mean, he was that, gritty, that not the traditional NASCAR kind of guy. He spoke his mind. His actions. He was a very energetic guy. And like you said, it's a damn shame. I mean, when you lose someone like that, the last time we lost somebody was what, Dale Earnhardt back,
Of
back
that nature, yeah,
of
that was
that nature, right?
in 2001. I mean, we're talking a long time ago at this point.
Right.
But yeah,
But yeah, no, that's when I think of the tragedies of NASCAR, I think of Dale Earnhardt Sr. And like you said, we put these guys on a pedestal, very very high. And when something like this happens, it kind of reminds you, yes, you are human. You are human. These guys do get sick. We don't want to think that, but I mean, we're all human beings, so we do get sick, and it's a damn shame. From what they're saying, it was pneumonia with cestus, and we all know when cestus gets in your system, it is in your system. It's very, very deadly, and I don't think he knew about it, as much. And as a man, us guys, we're not sick, it's only maybe a little pneumonia. I'll get over it. And you don't take it serious. And unfortunately, you get something like this to happen to kind of open your eyes. And you don't want this situation to do that, to be like, to come that far. He has a kids and a wife, and now they're going to be growing up without a father. She's going to grow up without a husband. It's just a very tragic situation in NASCAR, and not just NASCAR, just as a human being. People go through this, Jason, almost, every day, losing loved ones and everything. Like I said, we're all human beings, and some stand out more than the others because of their name and what they've done in their careers. But you gotta honor this guy because I mean, what he did for NASCAR, he boosted it right back up after Earnhardt basically passed away. And like I'll be the first. I don't watch NASCAR that much at all. I don't know too much, but you got to respect the hell what they do.
Sure.
And yeah, and you know what? I just want to touch on one thing. I I was listening about a week and this was like a week and a half ago, and I remember Stephen A. Smith brought that up about NASCAR drivers are not athletes, and that kind of ticked off, the NASCAR people there. They got back and he was like, oh, you don't have to be an athlete to drive a car, and then that became a big thing, and I'm like, dude, you know what? Leave it alone. It's a sport. Right. It's
Right.
a sport. You still have to have the peripheral. You gotta. I mean, there's a reason why they're professionals, right? There's a reason why. You could say, hey, anybody could drive a car. Sure, anybody could drive a car, but can you drive it that well like they do? So what Stephen A. said, I don't agree with. You do have to be an athlete. These guys still bust their ass. We don't know what goes behind the scenes, how they train, but they
Right.
train like hell. So you can't just say it's not a sport. We could do that. No, I don't agree with that statement at all.
Stephen A. Smith is becoming a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like his whole MO is what can I say today that's going to put my name in people's mouths
Right,
for some sort of controversial hot take.
right,
And you know, NASCAR is often dismissed because of what people perceive it to be. Oh, you're just driving a car.
right.
You're just making left turns. You're just doing this. You're doing that. Listen, like you said, I don't know very many people, if I can be honest with you, in my real life. in my existence. I don't know very many people that can drive 200 plus miles an hour for that amount of time and keep that bitch on all four wheels and on the road.
Yeah,
It's just not, you know what I mean? Like it's the mental toll. And
yeah,
it's a physical one, man, because I mean you're all tensed up as you're driving, you know what I mean? Like your body takes a toll. Um I, do I follow it? No. It's just not my bag, but I respect it. I
sure.
understand it, because NASCAR fans are often put in the same vein as pro wrestling fans. Like
Right,
our shit just don't matter. We're not athletes.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? But you look at ESPN now, especially like next week, this coming week, if you watch ESPN programming in the morning, especially, you're going to be seeing a shit ton of WWE stuff because they have a pay per view this weekend or next weekend.
Right.
And as we all know, ESPN it now has the exclusive rights to the pay per views in America. And it's like, you got Stephen A. Smith saying stupid shit like that. It's like, I think he's just doing it to get that rise, to get the ratings, because controversy creates cash. That's the whole mo here.
Yeah,
Uh, it's just crazy, you know.
yeah. No,
Um, if you have a thought on this, an opinion, or if you are a NASCAR fan, we would love to hear from you. You can either correspond with us through the live chat on Facebook, as our good buddy Tim has done here through the Sports Reel podcast page. So he's watching. Certainly appreciate that. Or if you want to be on the show with us, you click that link and boom, it's going to bring you right into our virtual waiting room, and we will let you in and be on the show. So yeah, just a tremendous shame, and we wanted to start the show this week and send our condolences to the
yes,
fans, friends, and the family of
yes.
one of the true icons in NASCAR. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm with you, Jay, on that. Yes, absolutely. You know what? Just because we don't watch a sport doesn't mean that we don't care. So,
100%.
it's being a human being. It comes down to and empathy and everything like that. And it's a sad note, but as you know, life does go on, and they will find their way. And like you said, our condolences out to their family, and hopefully they find some peace in this somehow.
Yeah, it's difficult with this
Yeah.
family when you deal with anything like this, right? I mean, just just a damn shame. But let's try to shift gears here. Try to put a little bit more positive spin. Let's talk some baseball here, Vinny. And I got a lot of feedback from the last episode because we tried something new on that show that I think we're going to incorporate into this episode here in a little bit, but every episode going forward. So I'll probably put together a cute little intro or package or something like that, much like we did for Tim's 2 minute golf report on the Sports Grill podcast. Um, but we're going to break down a baseball related list every episode. And we'll go ahead and give you a preview of what this week's topic will be. It will be the most hated MLB players playing right now. So that's going to be a fun one. Still to come here on Ball Game. But it's been a couple of weeks here, Vinny. And the last time we talked, you and I were preparing for a Tigers Mets series, and we were both in agreement here. Like the Tigers should have handled their business with New York. However, in reality, the Detroit Tigers are becoming nothing short of a dumpster fire, and I can pinpoint a lot of this to being swept by the New York Mets. As a Mets fan, oh, and then they would follow that up with a pretty impressive showing with the New York Yankees. So I have to ask you, and I've been dying to ask you this because you are, as you have said, a big Mets fan. So I'll just go ahead and ask, what the fuck is going on with the New York Mets? What's happening, Vinny? Because where we were, like it has been a. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs or the White Sox, I'm sorry, are knocking on the door of a wild card spot right now. If the playoffs were to start here today, like what is happening? Let's start with the Mets. What is going on?
Well, with the Mets, I'm just as surprised as you are. I mean, last time we talked, they were dead last. They still are dead last in the division. They have gained some games. I think they're like 22 and like 28. But
Yeah,
as you and I talk,
29,
and
13.
29.
Yes, that's 13 and a half games behind the Braves.
Now, like we said in the back, I'm glad they're doing better. I'm glad they did not fire the manager because remember there was talks of this and that, and I told you, I said to everyone, I said that this is a ownership problem,
Yeah.
getting rid of all those players. Now you're trying to put them back on the field. What you're seeing with the Mets, they're starting to gel a little bit, but as we talked about before, you can lose a season in April, May, or March now, and that's where the Mets are finding themselves into now. They fell so far behind, okay, and to catch up is going to be a hell of a task just to catch up. I mean, look at the Atlanta Braves, right? Look at their record. Look at the Dodgers' records and all that. I mean, you're obviously playing for a wild card, right?
Yeah.
And they're about 10 games out of the wild card. So they have a lot of catching up. And as we were talking before a little bit behind the scenes, the Mets catcher, obviously, now he went down. He's going to be out for basically the whole season. And to me, he's done. And I love the kid. He's gritty. He's strong. He's a hell of a player, but he's injury prone. 3 years straight now that he's near the beginning or sometimes near the end. It happened near the end. That you got to call it a season for him. And a catcher is the heart line of the team, right? For any pitchers, this and that. They're the heart line. So
They're calling the shots. They're the ones calling the shots in there.
Exactly. So who's the leader now? Now we got Terrence coming in. I got nothing against Terrence. He's a hell of a catcher, right? But to replace that and to start to shift with now what? 3 catchers. Now one's down. You're going to have to bring up another 1 or 2 because catching is one of the hardest positions, if not the hardest position, right? And now these pitchers have to get used to new catchers, what they call this and that. And what you're seeing too, a lot of, which I don't like, is a lot of these pitching coaches, managers are calling the games. I do not like that. I do not like that. They're not out there. They're on the sideline, right? The catcher is behind home plate, man. He knows up, down, left, the batters. He knows all about that. Let the catcher call the game with the pitcher. We don't need any outside, curveball, breaking ball, split. I don't agree with that. You never saw that back in the day. It was always the catchers making the calls. Yes, you see them look to the side. What do you want? But ultimately, it was their decision. And now slowly you're starting to see that decision go to the bench, which I don't like at all. At all.
It's one of those subtle changes that isn't so out in the headlines yet. It's being subtly done, and I'm with you. This is a game that should be called on the field. Because nobody has a better vantage point of what's going on than the catcher.
And he's got the feeling for it. The pitcher knows how he feels. You know what I mean? They got that vibe between the two. And as myself as an ex-pitcher, I know I'm not looking towards the bench, for a sign or this and that. I'm looking at my catcher, and I'm trusting my catcher, we'll shake them off once in a while, okay? But like I said, they're behind there. They're behind there all the time. They know the strike zone, right? With the umpire, they know what they could get away with. So let them call the game. We don't need this outside information kind of stuff. When you start to go outside and get too cute, that's when you lose. That's when you lose. When you start to go from your basics, the basics of baseball, the fundamentals. Once you start to break that, it's not good. They're there for a reason, the fundamentals, right? They're there for a reason. And when you break them, you're asking for damn trouble. You're asking for trouble.
You know what I find in a lot of cases, not across the board, but I find this break in chemistry when there is one or maybe two players on a team that is generating a lot more individual attention and spotlight. And that individual has an option. They come to a fork in the road. They can either lean into that star power, but when you lean into that star power too far, you forget what brought you to that dance. So there's those who really embrace that, and they get all sucked into the hype, and they get all sucked into their own press, and their ego just loves the attention, and all of this other stuff. And then you have other ones that just, even though they're doing exceptionally well and there's a lot more attention, their focus isn't on how many more interviews can I do, how many more TV shows can I put my face on, and it's how can we continue to play better as a team, because this game is a team game. It is not an individual game. It never has been, and it never will be. The problem is that you get those one player or two players that are really, they're doing their job exceptionally well. Yes, they're going to generate attention. Yes, they're going to be in the headlines and in the news and all this other stuff. But my God, you gotta remember, you are part of a team. You are not the team. You feel me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And running off that, like you said, that is very, very important. Because let's say Juan Soto, for argument's sake, like you said, he comes in, he's getting the press box, he's getting, for his family, whatever he's getting a jet. How's the other players feeling about that, right? And what you want, what you're thinking is, okay, you have that leadership, but lead now. It's a team sport. Lead. Don't be by yourself out there with, the interviews, this and that and everything. What you should be doing is going to the younger players, right? Teaching them what they need to know, how they feel, coaching them up to your level. That is, to me, that's a true leader. It's not, like you said, I hit 2 home runs today. I'm out of the ball game. That's it. I'm going home. I'm not, doing anything else. That's it. No. It takes a lot. This is the hardest game to be played on the planet Earth. Let's be clear about that. Nobody can hit, everybody cannot hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball or a curveball. It is the hardest sport. And you need the top of the top. That's why they're there. They're the top of the elite. And when you're there, you need the leadership. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have leadership, you have nothing. You have nothing. Where's that team going to go? And this is my other point. The Dodgers has got, right? They've got Hall of Famers out there, okay? And it's actually working to their advantage, where Dave Roberts, as we talked about last time, is a hell of a manager, can manage all those egos, right? Mm-hmm. And still be in first place. You expect them to be in first place, but you also expect them to clash a little with their personalities, too many stars and this. And I'm quite surprised. I really am, that they did not, kind of fall apart by now a little bit. They're getting stronger. and stronger. And that tells me the leadership is strong in that dugout, in that team there.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And then that's why the Dodgers are where they are right now. But here's, you talk about the team concept. Oh, catching up with Cody is watching with us.
Hey, Cody.
Cody's with us here today, so really appreciate that. Um, it's, I'm looking at the standings right now, and what's amazing to me is, there's teams out in MLB, they're your superpower teams, and with that, that division is always one that people pay attention to. The AL East
Yeah,
with the Yankees is one of those. The NL West with the Dodgers. Those are the
right.
two primary divisions right now, one for each league. But you want to know what the strongest league or the strongest division is right now? It is
I would say the American League Central,
you're close. It's the National League Central.
National League Central. Okay, okay.
Every team in the NL Central right now has a 500 or better record.
Wow,
That is the
wow.
only division in baseball that can say that. Um, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who we've spent some time putting some spotlight on here on this program, they are sitting at 26 and 25, 5.5 games back behind the Milwaukee Brewers. So now the Brewers are back on top.
Right.
And this is what makes this division a lot of fun to watch because that shit changes within every other day, it seems like.
It's
Like
true.
the competitiveness that these teams bring. We're talking Milwaukee, we're talking the Cardinals, we're talking the Cubs, the Reds, and the Pirates. These are not what we would call mainstream teams. The card
Exactly.
the Cardinals would be close because of the success, and the Cubs would be because of their history and the movie Rookie of the Year.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
But man, there is a lot of shifting going on. And with Pittsburgh only being 5.5 games back, if they can get on another one of these rolls and the other ones are starting to falter a little bit, it wouldn't take nothing. It wouldn't be anything at all for us to come back on here in 2 weeks' time and we were looking at the Pirates sitting in second place. Like it could happen.
I can see that. Jay, like I said, I've never watched so many Pirates games this year. Their team is exciting. Like you said, that whole division is it the Cardinals, and I mean, you got, like you said, that's something unprecedented these days. All over 500. I mean, where do you really see that in baseball? You really don't see that, right? And like you said, everybody is very close to each other within 5 games. They can spark anytime. And these are not big names. Like you said, these are not big market teams. So what they're showing is you don't have to spend all that money, Jason, right? To get a great product on your field there, right? I
You
mean,
gotta you gotta find the diamonds in the rough, man.
like Griffin, right? 19-year-old. These you're seeing younger and younger, which I've noticed too, coming up 20 years old, 19, 20, 22, very, very young, and which is great, which is great. I mean, obviously now the sport is getting momentum. A lot of people are into it more. And watching Pittsburgh or the Cardinals shows you how gritty they are, how much they want it, how exciting. I mean, you see those guys in Pittsburgh. I mean, when they're hitting home runs, they're putting the cones on their head. I mean, they're having fun. That's what it is compared to the Yankees. Oh, going, going, gone. Get the hell out of here. Ding dong. Nah, nah. You know what? You know what, Jason? I'm going to tell you. One of my buddies wrote on Facebook about John Sterling passing away. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm all he was great. I told you, he made some bad calls. So my comment was, he's going, gone. He's going, gone. Nothing pun intended, but I think he would laugh at it if he was alive. He's going, gone. So, but anyway, that's just a little
I
point with
appreciate it. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That was his go-to. Going, gone.
You're paying tribute to the guy, and listen, the fact that you're paying any kind of tribute to anybody that was that closely associated with the Yankees just goes to show what a stand-up guy you are.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have to
acknowledge that.
You have to acknowledge that. I will acknowledge the Jeters, right? I will acknowledge the Jeters. Very few on the Yankees, in the 2000s, right? We could all respect the past of the Yankees, the Mantles, Marises, right? We all love that. But I'm just talking about the 2000s. There's not too many that you can really pick out from. Jeter, the reason why I like Jeter, you never heard him in the headlines. Right. You never knew what he was doing. He stayed out of trouble. And then what, Jason? At the end of his career, he got married and then had kids. So he knew his focus was baseball. After baseball, then I'll have a wife and make my family and do what I have to do. You know what? You didn't hear him about nightclubs. You didn't hear him about any assaults. It was wonderful. And you know what? As much as I don't like the Yankees, I had to respect him for that, in that spotlight. Absolutely 100%. A-Rod? No, I still can't, watch him on television. No, as an announcer. I can't.
That's what you want to call what he's doing, announcing. But I totally feel you.
Yeah, no. Some of them are just, you can't stomach it. You can't just stomach it after a while because you've known what these guys did, and you know what they did is wrong, and now they're trying to preach to you. No, don't preach to me, buddy. I wasn't doing what you were doing at your age there.
Listen, you are absolutely right about Derek Jeter, and I'm right there with you. I've expressed how I feel about the New York Yankees ad nauseum, but he is one of those exceptions where it's like, damn, you pissed me off even more because you're such a decent ambassador for the game of baseball, but you're wearing that uniform.
Yep.
If you weren't wearing that uniform, I would buy something that has your goddamn name on it. But I can't. And he's from Michigan. He was born in Michigan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there are a lot of Jeter fans within my circle, and like come playoff time, when the Yankees were good, I mean he was the captain of that team. I didn't hear the end of it. But man, I don't take for 1 second that every opportunity when the Yankees faltered or he did some boneheaded play or even got hurt at one point, and like I took that opportunity to shove it down their throats because it was the Yankees. You know what I mean? Nothing against Jeter personally.
Right.
He was just so damn good.
Right. Yeah.
So, I hear you.
Now, the whole Yankee thing is, people really can't believe how much I don't like them. They're like, well, you got to go for New York. Absolutely not. No, if the Mets don't get in, I hate that. No, if the Mets don't get in, I'm going to root for the Yankees. You know what? Then you're not hanging out with me. I'm not watching the damn game with you. No. Nope. And then, Jay, if they make the World Series or anything, you got to see me. I'm like, lose. I'm like literally in the television like, no. I want them to lose the first round. I don't want to see them lose in the World Series. No, I don't even want you to sniff it. I want you to lose right in the divisional or the wild card. Get out. But yeah, honest to God, Jason, when they're out, I could breathe a little easier. Put it that way. When they're out, I go, okay, that's the big part that I want out of there. I don't have to see them until next year. Honestly, God, that's the way I think. I go, okay, now whoever's going to win, I'll pick and see which one I want to root for. That's okay. That's basically it.
Funny because we all have. It doesn't matter what sport we're talking about. If we follow it, if we have a legit fandom for it, there is always we. Every single one of us has one team that if that team makes it to the postseason, like that's the thorn right there. And as soon as they're eliminated, I went right there. That at this point, I almost don't give a fuck who it is, as long as it's not them assholes. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yes, exactly.
Yankees was very much a part of that. You know who else was a part of that? The Kansas City Chiefs. Not.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Yeah. Yeah.
I eat for that, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
There you go.
Let's
Tim
talk
Duncan.
about yeah. You talk about Heat. I do want to shed some spotlight on a pitcher for the Phillies, Vinny, that is really putting the baseball world on notice and approaching a record that has been a long time in the making. Christopher Sanchez with the Philadelphia Phillies is closing in on the record for the longest scoreless inning streak. And coming out of the game last night, he has 37 and two-thirds scoreless innings. That puts him second all time in Phillies franchise history behind Grover Alexander. Now, Mr. Alexander, yes, I said Grover. Mr. Alexander had 41 consecutive scoreless innings. Vinny, you can trace that back to 1893. So Mr. Sanchez is looking to break one of the oldest record in all of organized baseball. Actually, you can even make an argument. The NHL may have this one beat, but not by much if it does. Um, in all of sports, like that is one of the oldest standing records in all of sports. Like it is crazy when you think about
Now let me ask you though, Oral Hershiser, he had
it. Yeah.
what was that record? If at 59, what was that? 59. What record did he? What was that? I forgot. Oh my gosh, that was a 59. Obviously, it's not what Sanchez is doing.
Right.
Um,
Hang on, because what Sanchez is doing is for the Philadelphia Phillies franchise. That's how they're labeling it. So maybe Hershiser's, um,
59, I think.
yeah,
59 game. We gotta look that up. Hershiser.
right,
Um,
Oral. What a name, too.
Oral teeth.
Hershiser. Oh my God. Oral Hershiser.
I know. Oh, oral.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to look this up.
Oh, here we go. Okay, he's 67 years old.
Is he
Uh,
now?
yeah. Let's see. 6'3". Okay.
Consecutive scoreless innings pitched in Major League Baseball. He set the record at 59 consecutive innings in 1988. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yep.
what Sanchez is doing is just for
The
the Phillies
Phillies then.
franchise. Yes.
Okay. So
Well,
it's not overall.
I
It's
guess
just
not. So let me just go ahead and take exception, and I'm gonna pull this motherfucker up too. Let me take it because, like, I got this from the MLB website. Like, this was an article. So
Right.
now I feel like I got to call the bitch out that wrote this erroneously, that made it look like it was for
All
all.
time.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
asshole. God bless him.
Because I'm thinking Oral Hershiser, wait a minute, he did that. I'm thinking, okay. And like you said, hold on, wait a minute. Is he going for Oral Hershisers? But it's not. Yeah, they should have said franchise, like you said,
Yeah,
for the franchise. Not history should not be even in the sentences that just franchise. That's
I'm
it.
here to tell the way these motherfuckers write their clickbaits and things
Yep.
like this, just get to the goddamn point. I had to follow so many or unfollow so many websites and pages because it was all clickbait. And when you went to read the shit, it was nothing what was presented in the headline. Like, I don't know if they need to go back to journalism school to learn how to do this or what. And I get it. You have to get that click to register monetarily and all that. Like, I understand all that, but you will get more clicks and likes and shares and all this stuff if you have a reputation of being reputable and honest versus just being a complete and total asshole. And like, I don't know,
No,
man.
I,
I,
I
I
I I
agree.
agree. I mean, I do a lot of content. I put them out, and I'm always thinking, what can I think of new? Okay, I watch the ball games. I see somebody hit a say grand slam. I got to look them up. I already did two on them, so I got to get something fresh, right? You can't make it go stale. So, like you said, you got to be honest about it. If it happened in 2024, doesn't mean that it's not good, right? Just
Right.
label it so you can understand, oh, this happened in 2024, not the present. You know what I mean? That's where they kind of twist it there for you.
Hmm. Yeah. So it's just
Yeah, they got you on that one, Jay. They got
I'm not impressed, Vinny. I'm not impressed. Well, listen, we got 15 minutes before the top of the hour, so let's switch gears here and look at this list. We're going to go um, the 9 most hated players in MLB right now, the big 9, as it were.
Okay.
Okay. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up.
Okay.
All right, coming in at number 9 is Alex Verdugo. Uh, eh, this guy. Okay, now let me just preface. I should have prefaced everything. These lists, more often than not, are a goddamn joke. Okay, and I take great pleasure in letting people know why I think this list is a joke. Of all the players in MLB, I figure there's at least one or two other guys that would have instant name recognition because for this guy, I gotta sit here and really put a lot of thought into who is this guy and
Right.
why should I hate him? You know what I
Right.
mean? Um, apparently, he has been one of the most disliked people in his entire career, stemming from a 2015 off the field incident which occurred while Verdugo was still in the minor leagues. He allegedly videotaped a drunk underage girl getting physically assaulted by two other women in the comfort of his own spring training home. Okay, well, that does make him an absolute fucking prick.
Asshole.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
He watched it instead of doing something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. What a bitch.
Yep.
Okay. Moving
Yep.
on. Number 8. Talk about bitch. I shouldn't say, I should say bitching because he
Bitching.
does a
Yeah.
lot of bitching.
Yes.
First, first with the Nationals, now with the Phillies. I'm talking about Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a dick. He's a dick. He just looks like a dick. Yeah.
He
You know what I mean? He doesn't look like a nice dude. Right? Do you
he
get
does
that same feeling?
yeah. Yeah, I've always felt like Harper is there for the paycheck and nothing more.
Yep.
And it just so happens that they put the right guys around him a couple of seasons, and they were able to do something with it, at least at bare minimum, make a significant run in the playoffs.
Right.
Uh, but his whole demeanor, like when he was with Washington, and
Hmm.
and his contract was coming up, like he made such a spectacle, way more than it needed to be. Kind of in line with how I feel like this whole thing with Tarek Skubal and the Tigers are going. This shit does not need to be public knowledge, in my view. And because you put it in public knowledge, it makes me look at you in a different light, in the respect level of more than anything. I don't give a fuck if you're blasting 800 home runs a season.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is it does not change, and it could increase the reasons why you are indeed a prick. And I got nothing for you. We
Yeah.
went to Philly of several years ago. You were actually wearing a Rocky shirt here today, and it made me think, which is badass.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Makes me think of the trip that I took to Philly. We went and actually stopped at the Rocky statue, so it all
You
ties
should have
in.
ran up.
Oh, we did. My,
You
my,
ran? Oh yeah.
my son and I did. Yep.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, absolutely we
If
did.
if
It
I
was
go there,
cool.
I would keep running, keep on running right into the.
Right
That's
into the art
freaking
museum.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. But Harper had only been there for like I think the third year, second or
Yeah.
third year that he was with the Phillies, and there just was not a lot of local love affair for Bryce Harper in the
Yep.
streets of Philadelphia. And his shit is all over the place. Not
Yep.
even sports stores have something with his face, name, or number on it. But yeah, they're not selling because he ain't popular. So,
You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, you could be as like you said, you could hit 800 home runs. You know what? If you're not good to the fans, the media, or just anyone, you're not. You're just a prick. They're gonna say, yeah, he's good, but he's an asshole. That's what they're gonna say.
unless they're in a market that is so desperate to win something that
Right.
they'll bring anybody in.
Yep. Yep.
We as Tiger fans, I can Juan Gonzalez.
Oh.
Like I will always use that son of a bitch as an example. That motherfucker did not want to be here. He just took the money,
Yep.
and it was plain as day he did not want to be here because we were shit.
Right.
But they were willing to pay him what he wanted to anchor the rebirth of this team, and he was out of here just as fast as he came in.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I never liked that guy. Number seven's Juan Soto.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
showboating, bro. The
Oh
showboating
God.
is off the charts. That
Jason, when he was announced coming to the Mets, I said, "Oh no, really? Oh no, no, I don't want him. Really? Till this day, I don't root him on like I normally, with the team, this and that. The showboating. He's not a good outfielder. He's not a good outfielder at all. I'm sorry. He talking to the other players and this and that. He's not focused. What is he good for? Okay, home runs, this and that. But like you said, when you come into a new team and start making demands right off the bat, I need a press for my family. I need a jet. No, 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 no. That's why the Yankees, would not sign him. Yeah, they would not, when he requested. If there's any Yankee fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what broke the camel's back was him asking for the press box, whatever for his kids, a box there, and the jet, and they said absolutely not. No, you're not that special. And the Mets, we welcomed it. I'm like, no, no way, no way, Jay.
you think they signed him with the mentality that they got some sort of coup over the Yankees?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we got him and you didn't, and
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Yep. You got it. Yeah. Absolutely. Anything to try to outshine the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jesus. That's why I love the fact that we don't have more than one team in the state of Michigan. Unless Green Bay Packer fans consider it. See, because people in the upper peninsula of Michigan,
Hmm.
they don't consider themselves as part of Michigan, even though it's literally part of the state. They consider themselves to be part of Wisconsin.
Oh.
So the whole northwest part of the upper peninsula, by and large, are Green Bay Packer fans.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that. That's something new. Yeah.
we used to go up there for deer camp and shit, and there was a bar up there. And if you wore anything Detroit Lions, they straight up refused you service. You were not allowed
Really?
in there. Oh yeah, they
Oh
take that
shit.
shit seriously.
You,
You do not wear blue and silver up north.
wow. I
It's
didn't
like,
know.
yeah,
That's it. I learned something. That's Richie Cunningham's neck of the woods, I guess. And Fonzie.
yeah.
Hey, there you go. Hey, I wonder where that thumb has been. Hey.
Hey, no, Mrs. C. All right,
Yeah.
moving on. That had a little bit of Rocky to it. I don't know
There
why.
you go.
Number 6 is Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson comes in at number 6, and another one of these guys
Another
that,
one. Who's Tim Anderson?
yeah.
Where does he play for? I don't
No,
even.
I mean, I'm very familiar with him because of
Tim
his time
Anderson.
with the White Sox, and he's another one of these arrogant guys that like to go over the top with their showboating and stuff like that. And aside from a couple sparks here and there, like he's just not that good to be um, putting that kind of presentation out there. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
He's gotten himself into a couple of scuffles and bouts of controversy off the field too. Um, but he's just, I don't know. I it's not it doesn't surprise me that he's on this list.
Right.
What surprises me is how high he is listed on here because
On
this
there.
list goes beyond 9. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get 9 because it's baseball themed.
Right.
All right. That was 6. Number 5, Anthony Rendon.
Oh, Anthony Rendon. It doesn't pop at me. Does it
No,
pop at you? It doesn't really pop at me. He
not
doesn't.
really.
I don't see any problems with that dude, really. I mean, has he gotten into some serious shit? I don't think so. I really, he's a good ball player, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
What they have written here is Rendon has faced criticism in recent years, primarily due to his frequent injuries and subpar performance. After signing a lucrative contract with the Angels, his involvement in a physical altercation with a fan in 2023 also contributed to negative perceptions. All right, here's the thing. We're athletes, or we're not we, but they're athletes. And I mean, unless Rendon felt like his life was in legitimate danger, you really shouldn't be putting your fucking hands on people
no.
because you are a star, you are in the spotlight, you know this is going to come down very negatively on you. Aside from your little entourage, because
Right.
with your entourage, they're laying rose petals at your feet and think that you walk on water.
Yep.
Uh, so they're going to be, oh, that was a great idea, Tony. Punch that motherfucker right in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Encourage it. Yeah. Do it
That's so
again.
bitch. If he would have breathed on me, I would have
Right.
punched him too.
Yeah. 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 Nah. No. Too many.
Number 4, Manny Machado.
I
He
like Manny, but
he got a lot of heat with his contract situation because it became public knowledge.
right. Right.
I I hear this dude's name and I'm thinking the first thing that pops up is the contract negotiations.
Right.
And landing with San Diego, it hasn't affected me all that much as a Tigers fan.
Right.
Probably more so, following the Cubs because they have actually made a run. The Rockies have not, so it really hasn't affected me on that level. But I don't know. He's a brash, young, talented kid that's getting a lot of money and a lot of exposure. What the fuck do you want? He's not beating up people. He's not,
Exactly.
in the like you said earlier. You used the analogy. He's not out in nightclubs, whoring it up and doing
No.
us all this other shit. The dude primarily comes in and just plays baseball. He comes
Exactly.
in and does the job that he's paid for. He's just getting paid a shit ton of money to do it.
Exactly. And that's not his fault. They gave it to him. So hey.
Now, let me just go ahead and preface the last three by saying that these are pillars of what we know as the Houston Astros. Number 3, Carlos Correa. I'll just go ahead and run through these real quick.
Yeah.
3 is Carlos Correa. 2 is Alex Bregman.
Uh-huh.
And number 1, Vinny, Jose
Altuve,
Altuve.
my short guy. Yeah. Yeah.
You little fuckers, I'll tell you.
They got some spark, huh? He's got, now what? Now Altuve, okay.
Yeah.
Why? What does it say?
Oh, you want me to read the shit that they got for me? Hang on.
Yeah. Let's see what he's
For Jose here.
Jose. What is he done?
Jose. Star second baseman for the Houston Astros is widely despised by many MLB fans due to the central role in the 2017 Astros sign stealing controversy.
Yeah.
Where the team illegally used technology to decode and relay opponents' signs, tainting their World Series title. This is why I do not like the Houston Astros, because they marred the lineage of the World Series.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as the strike canceled series in '94.
Right.
Almost as bad. Like I put the strike of '94 at 1A. The Houston thing is 1B.
Yeah.
Because if that's why I can't get 100% of my fandom on AJ Hinch, our manager here in Detroit, because he was there in Houston.
Right, Jay. That's right. And what they do? They were banging on the right for the banging on something for the signs, and they would, like you said, and no, and the time and place they did it, like you said, the World Series. Oh my God! Like that's the worst that you can do is like anything, the Super Bowl, anything of that magnitude. When you cheat like that, you know what comes up, Jay? The Black Sox. And that's way back, right? I mean, you're talking mafia. That's what happened to those Shoeless Joe Jackson. Those guys, I mean, that's a hell of a movie, by the way. I freaking love that movie.
8 Men Out.
Yep. Oh my God! If anybody hasn't seen it, I'm sure if you're baseball fans, you have. But my gosh, I mean, it's a true story. Now that, right? It doesn't kind of have the magnitude of that. It's cheating. It's still cheating. But the fact that the Black Sox, was the White Sox back then, they were so much better than the Cincinnati Reds. They could have wiped their ass with them. And dropping the ball on purpose, doing this and that, and just to get a paycheck, for extra money was just a slap in the face to the whole sport. And you're talking what? That was like 1907 or 1903 Sox, something like that. So you're talking when baseball was, in its infancy, basically. coming up like that, they were trying to press the water the whole season. That remember in that movie, they did not cheat that whole season. When they got to the World Series, that's when the big bosses and that's when they made all those rules, Jason. If you cheat in baseball, you're out. You're this and that, and that's what it got it going.
Hey, along those lines, and we'll wrap it up with this because I'm not sure if I ever got your opinion on this. You talk about, all the rules and things that were incorporated after the Black Sox scandal of the World Series, cheating, gambling, that type of thing. Pete Rose, do you think he should have been in the Hall of Fame before he died?
Absolutely, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yep. Yes. Because Jason, you hit a bone there. Because I'm passionate about that guy. Yeah, Pete Rose. Whoever say, oh no, time out. If you don't want to believe that, he just gambled on his own team and this and that, go F yourself. Okay? I don't care what the guy did because what he did on the field as a player, nobody has done before. He is still the all-time hits leader. And they use that man. If anybody knows the history, they use that man throughout his whole life because he did that. They got him in Cooperstown, but they got his shit in Cooperstown. His jerseys, they're making the All-Star games, guys, okay, out there. They brought him in. They didn't pay him just to get extra publicity, okay? And then what does the major leagues do, Jason? Now we're sponsored by DraftKings and this and all these betting sites. So what you're saying is what he did was wrong, but we're going to do it legally? Really? That to me, that's the biggest hypocrite of them all is MLB. That poor guy died, not going to the Hall of Fame. How can you be the all-time hit leader, all time, and not be in the freaking Hall of Fame because of one thing that a guy did as a manager? As a manager. If you wanted to say he can't manage anymore, freaking fine. But as far as his performance on the field, he belongs in Cooperstown. Absolutely 1,000%. Anybody else that thinks that he shouldn't, no way. No way. Go look at his numbers. Go look at the man's numbers. He played with his whole heart and soul. Go look at the replays. It's not like today's games. Dude was running over catchers, high spiking. I mean, whatever it took for him to get on base, to steal a base, to get to home, that man gave it 1,000%, not 100, but a freaking 1,000%. And that pisses me off. The man absolutely, hands down, should have been in the Hall of Fame. Fay Vincent and all them, the commissioner back then, they just didn't want him in. They said, no, till this day. And now, there's whispers after he passed away, which I knew was going to friggin' happen. We're going to review it again and this and that. Before you review it, why don't you look at what you freaking guys are doing? DraftKings and all these betting sites and this and that. You know what you're doing? You're getting these young kids are ready to engage in betting, which is worse than what Pete freaking Rose did. I'm sorry. Because the platform MLB has is much bigger today than it was back then. Much bigger. So that's the way I feel about Pete Rose. Yes. 1,000%, Jason. Yeah.
Okay. I can appreciate that, man. I didn't realize you were going to cut a promo right there, Vinny, and I can really appreciate that. I appreciate that fire, man.
That's the way Pete Rose played it, Jason, with fire, with passion, and that's what I want to see from these players today. I want to see the passion. I don't want to see them on second base talking to the freaking shortstop. Turn your head around. Pay attention to the freaking game, man. If you saw Pete Rose, I guarantee you would never see Pete Rose do that. Never, ever. If anything, punch the guy. Wouldn't say hello. He'd say, go fuck off, right? And then say, I'm stealing third base. No. No way, Jay. Pete Rose all the way in, all the way in. And it's, you know what, and being serious, I am being damn serious. It's a
Yeah,
shame
clearly.
that he died not being in the Hall of Fame. And if any, like I said, just read a book on him, what he went through. Was he a nice guy? No, no. But that wasn't his job to be a nice guy. His job was to play baseball and to do it the right way. And that's the way he did it. If you liked him or didn't, you could not take that away from him. What he played on the field, what he left everything out on that field. And I'm going to tell you, you haven't seen a player since then do that. Not since then with that passion. Never.
Well, listen, he did go into a Hall of Fame before his passing. He went into the WWE Hall of Fame. Because I don't know if you're aware of this.
No, I'm not actually. This is
He was involved in 3 WrestleManias in a row where he got into a physical altercation each of these years with the wrestler known as Kane, who was
Yep.
billed as the brother of The Undertaker. And for his efforts, old Pete would either get choke slammed or tombstoned to the next year. And well, they wound up inducting him into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2004. So he was a Hall of Famer, just
Right.
not in
and
his.
and Jason, 5'10", not a big man,
No.
not a big man by any means of anything. 5'10", say 200 pounds. These ball players today, 6'5", 6'4". That's what gets me. Not the short thing, no, just the whole wrappage around that. You know what I mean, Jason? When you see the guy play in the 70s and stuff like that, when he was doing all this stuff, it was just amazing to watch. And then as you get older, you go back and you see what he did. It's screaming Hall of Fame. You can't scream any louder of a Hall of Famer than Pete Rose. Absolutely. Was he a nice guy? No. No. He was probably an asshole. But like I said, you can't take that away what he did on the field. Being an asshole back then was different than being an asshole today.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect way to put a bow on this week's episode. And if you have any feedback about this, we would certainly love to hear from you. Just go ahead and drop us a comment on the show feed here on Facebook, and we will check that out and talk about it on the next episode. But you will get a reply, pretty quickly. So we certainly appreciate everybody who tuned in here. Vinny, where can they find you when you're not gracing the airwaves of the PFC Entertainment Network?
Oh boy. On YouTube at DOWGC521, DOWGC521, and at TikTok, DOWG4. So you can find me there, or just type in just another sports fan. I'm sure you'll come across it. Like I said, daily I'm posting at least 5 to 6 videos a day. They're all basically baseball at this time, but I try to mix it up. So if you guys want to stay in tuned, visit my platform, as well as obviously Jason and these guys. That we all work very, very well together and stay in contact. Absolutely, 1,000%.
It's my understanding you're going to be returning to the Sports Reel podcast here in a couple weeks.
Yes. June. I forgot the date, but it's in June coming.
I think.
Am I right? June.
Second?
Is it June?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, June. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be back in action. I'm ready with you guys here. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I believe it was June 2nd, which is a Tuesday. I'm not going to be here that day.
See, we got to have the full crew. We need the full crew, baby.
No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I'm going to be there.
Oh, no, you busted my stones. Jesus Christ. I'm a gullible man.
That's cool. That's cool. It's all done with love and respect, Vinny. You know.
I know.
Hey, if you haven't done so already, check out our online store, PFC I have a story ad around here somewhere.
I got a
There.
store somewhere.
So,
I don't know where the store is, but it's here.
it's been a day, you know what I mean? Check out pfcsportsreel.printify.me, the official online store for the Sports Reel podcast. And coming soon will be on that particular store. We will be launching the new ball game merchandise. So be sure to check that out. Of course, we'll be sending out a graphic advertising all the new products that's going to be specifically geared towards our show here. So,
Yeah.
and
And also, Jason,
yeah,
real quick, if I may, I might add one other thing to that collection.
Oh?
Let Pete Rose in. The Hall of Fame, baby. I just might do it. A nice hat. Pete Rose, Hall of Fame, baby. We'll push that sucker in there too. You never know.
let's start a movement.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Anybody want to see that? Put them in the comments.
Hit the like, subscribe, share button. We certainly appreciate all of you. And go out this week. Be awesome to yourselves and to each other. And we'll see you next time right here on Ball Game as a part of the PFC Entertainment Network.